So if we, look at the body, I kind of like to make it simple, compare it to a computer. Okay? A computer has hardware and the software, right? So if something doesn't work, like your printer doesn't want to work, there could be a problem in the cable, could be a problem in the hard drive, could be in the printer, but could also be a bug in the software. And that's kind of the same way you can approach a human body. Conventional medicine or naturopathy mostly looks at the hardware, chiropractic as well. There's some mechanical issue, there's some chemical imbalance, there's not enough nutritional components, there's some toxicity going on from some toxins from environment. All this is kind of hardware issue. And then there's something out there that drives this whole system and controls it. So some people call it energy, some people call it body's intelligence. I like to say it's something similar to software. And you can actually manipulate that, and if there's bugs in the software, you can actually try to fix them by these different modalities. And the ones that you are talking about, energy healing, acupuncture, Reiki, probably accesses that something we don't really understand, but which is something similar to software. Homeopathy does the same.
So the first appointment is really about really getting to know the person you're sitting with, listening very much and allowing them to come forth with who they are, as well as their symptoms. And we now have computer programs that help us look up different symptoms. And let's say they did have a migraine that starts on the right side of their head. And I go to the computer and I look under head, pain, however they described it. And then I will see that maybe there's 30 remedies in there. And then I'll take another symptom that they had. Maybe they have a violent temper, that they get set off if anybody criticizes them. And I can also look up in the mind, anger following criticism. And I see that there's another 50 remedies that came up in the provings for that one. So I take all of these symptoms and all of the parts and the pieces that have come out, and I look at the remedies that are involved in that. Are you a mineral? Are you an animal? Are you a plant? That's kind of like the first step when you're visiting with the person, because plants are very sensitive. Minerals are very organized. Animals are very survival oriented. So their language, their nature helps us decide what kingdom. And then we go looking at remedies that are in their family that have those symptoms that have come out in the provings, along with their nature.
Well, there is an idea in modern medicine is, so one of the idea is that we're waging war against something. There is an enemy, there is a microbes, there is a germ theory, and we need to fight those off. Homeopathy, as I said, works with the body's innate wisdom to heal itself. The reason we have symptoms or experiencing dis-ease is because our body has fallen short and needs an ammunition or some source to, to continue to work with whatever is going on and bring back the balance.
And that's where like cures like came in Hahnemann's understanding of homeopathy. Because if you have a match with the remedy picture from a proving of it to the person who's sitting in front of you that's just the same, that match is what is the remedy that can really help this person. And that's why it's so individual. You can have, 5 little kids that all have asthma, diagnoses of asthma, not by me, but by their physician. Maybe they're even on the same albuterol inhaler or singular or something. But each 5 of them will need a different homeopathic substance based on the little nature of that little being in front of you. Because, one might be, "Hi, hi, what can I do here, you know? And the other one might be so shy that they're not speaking. So their nature plays a really big part in how the remedies are chosen. And that's true not just for kids, that's true for every person who comes in here.
What happens is when we find a substance in nature, the reason I call it natural is because when we find a substance in nature that matches the state of the client, and I'm saying state and not the symptom, okay? Because it's not symptom-based, it's a system-based, it's a state-based. And every individual, we have our own fingerprints, just like that, we have our unique ways that we express our dis-ease or illness, okay? And so when we match that state with the substance from the nature, which is one of the homeopathic remedies, you know, and I won't go into how that becomes a homeopathic remedy, but there is a whole science and it's done very scientifically. Then homeo is similar, pathos is suffering, we find transformation.
There's three main scales in how remedies are made. The basic method of making a remedy is you take a substance, any substance, you dilute it in whatever, alcohol or something. You put a drop of that into an amount of water or alcohol. Then this vial needs to be shaken like this. This is called succussion. Then a drop from here goes into the next vial with the same amount of alcohol. And we keep on doing this. If you do this succussion or a dilution and succussion 6 times, that's a factor, dilution factor 1 over 100 in 6 power. So that's 10 to minus 12 power dilution, right? Which is very dilute. Most chemical instruments will not detect anything in this solution. Now, homeopaths keep on diluting. If they do it 12 times, that becomes a 10 to minus 24th power dilution, and therefore approaching so-called Avogadro's number. Now, Avogadro's number is an amount of substance, basically is a number of molecules in a reasonably sized amount of substance, which is different for every substance. For water, for example, it's about half an ounce. For iron, it's 56 grams or about 2 ounces. So this number of molecules, which is 6.023 times 10 to 23rd power, is how many molecules is in a mole of substance. So if you dilute something beyond this number, that means that you're washing out those molecules altogether. So your probability of finding a single molecule in that dilution approaches 0. So at around 12 C level dilution, we get to 10 to minus 24th power dilution, which is right at that border. So diluting anywhere beyond that, you're basically chemically diluting water in water. So there's no more molecules left. That's the scientific paradox that the detractors of homeopathy attach to. They say, well, you see, there's nothing there, therefore it can't possibly work. Homeopaths say, yes, you're right, there are no molecules there, but there's something there that works because we see the effect.